For gamers, this is no news, but Overwatch is coming out and I couldn't be more excited. For those of you who aren't into gaming, you're probably thinking, well, what is Overwatch? Overwatch is a first person shooter game that sets two teams of six against each other, and the goal is usually to defend something or take something, to put it simply. The game includes 21 characters, for now, and each has their own unique skills and abilities. Now, this isn't the first game to do these kinds of things, but what sets this game apart from most are its playstyles and characters. Sure, the game types are very similar to other games, but how you handle the match is different. You can pick any character you want at almost any time, unless there is a specific game setup saying otherwise, which there are a couple ways to do this. If the other team has a specific set of characters and they are winning, your team can change their characters to counter the other team. Gameplay like this can really turn around a bad game. And the second way this game stands out is its story and characters, which is the whole reason why I'm doing a Myth Monday over this. Now, just as a warning, I did as much research as I could, but it's possible I may have missed some things, so forgive me if there are errors. And please correct me or enlighten me on any mistakes or missing details. Overwatch takes place in the future after a group of peacekeeping heroes save the world from an uprising of sentient robots. The group, of course, was called Overwatch. Even though they remained heroes after the global event, people eventually turned on them. There were rumors that there was corruption amongst Overwatch. Soon, the headquarters of Overwatch was destroyed by a supposed accident. The team lost its leaders, Jack Morrison and Gabriel Reyes. The team couldn't handle it and Overwatch disbanded. Of course, many believe the destruction of Overwatch was by an outside player's hand, instead of by pure coincidence. Most of Overwatch's former members became mercenaries to fight the good fight. Some who wished to join Overwatch before they disbanded moved to other task forces that keep peace. There are many others affiliated with all sorts of organizations that fight for good and evil. Now, unless you follow the game fairly closely, you wouldn't really know any of this. The gameplay doesn't show any of the backstory, at least in the beta test they didn't, but once you know the backstory and look at the character bios and their alternate costumes, you begin to understand the overarching story. Take the characters Soldier 76 and Reaper for instance. Just by their appearance and playstyle, you wouldn't really know that they're very important to the plot. When you look up their stories on the Overwatch website, it says their real names are unknown. However, for Soldier 76, many believe he was formerly associated with Overwatch, and the final sentence in his bio states, "Unrelenting in his search to find those responsible for Overwatch's fall, Soldier 76 will stop at nothing to bring them to justice." Also, he has another costume that is called Commander Morrison. This leads you to believe he was Jack Morrison, the leader of Overwatch, and he escaped death to find justice for his old organization. And you would be right. You see, there is a video about Soldier 76's origin that explains Overwatch was attacked and he faked his death to find justice without bringing about too much attention. But, if you didn't know about the video, it's really easy to assume as much just by the backstory and costumes. In Reaper's bio, it states that he hunts down former members of Overwatch. In the game, he has abilities that allow him to teleport and phase through attacks like a ghost. He also has a costume named Blackwatch Reyes. Blackwatch was the covert ops division of Overwatch, a team Gabriel Reyes was a part of. Obviously, you infer that Reaper is the possible ghost of Gabriel Reyes. But why does he hunt down members of Overwatch? Does he feel wronged by them in some way, or was he the one that destroyed the Overwatch headquarters in an attempt to kill Jack Morrison? After all, there was supposed deceit in Overwatch. Maybe his plan was to destroy the team from the inside out, but he got caught in his own crossfire. I think it is extraordinary that you can make a game that has such a simple game style, but make the story so in-depth, and yet not tell it in any way except through the backstory and the occasional video outside of the game. Every single character is a piece of the overall story, and weaves around one another in such a unique way. In fact, if you select certain characters, they will talk to each other before the match begins. It shows that they have history and a personality. And some characters are around because of other characters, like Winston and Tracer. Winston is a genetically modified gorilla created on the moon that holds vast intellect. He was part of an experiment to see how long humans could live in space under the supervision of Dr. Harold Winston, and they grew very fond of one another. However, other gorillas in the project led an uprising and killed all the scientists in the colony on the moon. They took the moon for themselves, but Winston built a rocket and escaped to Earth and went by the name of his caretaker. In the organization Overwatch, he aided in scientific advancements. Tracer, also known as Lena Oxton, was a magnificent pilot that took part in an experimental teleporting fighter plane. The test went wrong and she became lost to time. She popped in and out of time, and it seemed hopeless to think that she would ever stay in the present. That is, until Winston created a device that anchored Tracer in the present, while also giving her the ability to manipulate time for herself. That is the kind of character development that excites me about Overwatch. Just those two characters alone could have made a very interesting story, and there are 19 other characters. I can go on and on about each and every character in this game, but I won't, for now. But I do feel like that the characters meld so well together, and it is very believable that they are in the same universe. In most other games with multiple heroes, it feels like they struggle to keep certain characters' stories in line with others. But in Overwatch, there is an apparent delicate approach to make sure everything makes sense. Well, as much sense as a talking gorilla and a floating robot monk man can make. Overwatch has many different ways to tell its story, or not tell its story. That's the beautiful thing about this game, is that if you don't care about any of the story, you don't have to look it up. You don't really have to see any of it. The game can be played regardless, and it is a lot of fun. Frustrating if your team sucks, but fun. I heard that there's going to be more animations in the future, delving into the story of Overwatch's characters. I hope that involves more of the creation of the team Overwatch, and how they saved the world from the robot uprising. Until then, let's all enjoy the game and have fun. Thanks for watching this excited mishmash of words. I'm just so ready for Overwatch, I needed to release all of this enthusiasm for the game. Hey, maybe I'll end up playing with one of you, or maybe I'll come back to talk about more or new characters. See you all then.